Well, hey everybody, I thought today would be a nice day to do an overview of the past 30 days and maybe trigger some more questions that you guys may have. First thing I really went into was sleep, setting up the bedroom correctly, making sure that if you have issues sleeping, that first of all, you watch those two videos that I made several months ago. Each one was about 20 minutes long. I also referenced over to you guys Dr. Matthew Walker's work from Stanford University. Talk to you guys about breathing, mouth taping, and how important that is. If you sleep with your mouth open, you absolutely need to tape your mouth shut. The reasons why have to do with nitric oxide production in the parasinuses. Nitric oxide might be, top three most consequential things for heart health, endothelial health in general. There are markers that you can measure in your blood work and in your genetics to know if you're compromised nitric oxide wise. There are certainly nutritional adjustments you can make to maximize nitric oxide, but the most consequential thing we could argue is the fact that you're breathing incorrectly, meaning you're breathing through your mouth instead of through your nose. We know that the nitric oxide conversion is happening in the parasinuses. And when we start to breathe through our nose instead of our mouth, you're doing a great thing for your heart, but you'll also notice, as many of you who have done this have remarked over the past year that I've been talking about this, is you sleep better. You sleep better. Now, at first, you may think, well, geez, this must be so uncomfortable. It's actually not. The mouth tape, it's designed to be put on your mouth. I showed you guys what it looks like. It has a little slit. It helps keep your mouth closed. It helps keep the mouth moist. There's a whole bunch of other things with this, guys, not just nitric oxide. It has to do with tooth and jaw development in kids. So even in children, if you see them with their mouth open, breathing with their mouth open, it affects their dental work. We know this for a fact. It actually affects their face structure. I sent out a lot of videos on this when I first started talking about it way back in March. So anyway, I talked a lot about that with sleep and how important sleep is, how to maximize sleep, Matthew Walker's work. I put out stuff about that and videos, and if you guys wanted more information, but there are dozens of things in order to make sure, depending on what you have going on, to make sure that you get better sleep. And guys, even if you do all of those things, you still may be fighting an uphill battle, depending on what's going on in your brain and in your body. So obviously, if you have chronic pain or if you have some type of chronic post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that, I try to explain to people, everything has a threshold, right? So if there's, let's just say there's 24 things you can do to help you maximize your sleep, and you start to realize how wrong you've been. You realize, oh my gosh, in order to go to bed at night, I've been watching TV, which might be the worst thing you could do. All the blue light turns the serotonin, turns melatonin into serotonin. Your body needs melatonin in order to start getting you into those sleep cycles. Well, if you're putting blue light in your eye, which is, by the way, what you get from outside, sunlight is about 50% red light, but the most intense light is the blue light. It's what wakes you up. So the reason why televisions and iPhones are so energy efficient is because of the blue light. It's energy efficient. And that's why if you look on iPhones, it literally has night mode there now. Why do you think Apple put that there? It's because the science of the blue light is for real. That it literally says nighttime mode. So Apple, being a very progressive company and being ahead of science, said, boy, we should make a nighttime mode in order to mitigate the problems with blue light. There's also companies out there that make the blue blocker glasses, blue blocker screens. This is real science. And I assure you, if you're still going to bed watching TV or getting on your phone or your computer, that is one of the most obvious things to get rid of that I talked about. But let's just say that you change everything. I tell everybody there's a threshold. So if your threshold for being optimal sleep is here, and you're way down here, and if you do three things and you get here, but you're not here, you will think that nothing has happened. What you need to do is make sure you're doing everything, all of the tricks, because every little thing will eventually bump you up to that threshold. So don't just stop. keep going. You may say, well, Tom, I tried the glycine. I tried the magnesium at night. I tried, making sure the room was really dark. I tried to make sure that the room was cold enough. I tried to kick the dog out of the bed because I know the dog keeps waking me up or whatever. There's all these things that we talked about. The reason why I harp on sleep, guys, is because sleep is the thing that is most consequential for hormone production. And if you want to change your body and change your physique, probably the most important thing is to make sure you optimize hormones. And one of the most critical ways to do that is by the thing that you do 1/3 of the day, which is sleep. Okay, making sure you optimize it and getting through those sleep cycles for all the other reasons that I talked about, because each cycle of sleep does a different thing. Obviously, training and eating has its own benefits on that end of it. So then I started showing you guys some of the things in terms of how I eat and how I prepare breakfast. I eat pretty much the same breakfast every day. I have, Ezekiel bread or a Ezekiel muffin, which gives me my carbs. I have a few scrambled eggs, some extra virgin olive oil, some salt and pepper. If I have guacamole, sometimes I'll put that in there. Depends on the day, but they're whole eggs. It's extra virgin olive oil. And if I have guacamole, I'll put it in there. I'll put some ghee butter onto the toast, or I'll put almond butter on. But guys, you're talking about, I did a whole video on extra virgin olive oil and how it helps you lose weight. The biggest thing I talked about in there was oleic acid. Eggs, extra virgin olive oil, avocados are going to be the biggest contributors to oleic acid. And if you want to look at some PubMed articles that talk about oleic acid and how important it is for people who are insulin resistant and helping you lose weight, I'm happy to send it to you that way. Again, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again because I already talked about weight loss and calories in, calories out, and how your body's a black box and there's all these variables. In the black box of variables, one of the things has to do with how well you use insulin in your body, if you're insulin resistant or not. Okay, and again, insulin's a hormone. So then I showed you guys, how fast I can make lunch and dinner, everything in less than 10 minutes. I'm just trying to show you guys that you can go from front to back in less than 10 minutes while a commercial's playing. Go in, do what you need to do, turn the oven on, bang, come back out, watch your show. There's no excuse, guys, because if you keep ordering out, if you keep eating out of boxes and packages and cans, and ordering, DoorDash, you're just never going to get to the next level. Now, you may be fine with where you are, but I assure you that where that is will always be at a dangerous level on the body mass index. And if you don't believe me, just Google body mass index. Look at the body mass index, look at where the dangers are, and you'll be shocked to know that you are obese, likely. So the average American is 5'10", 194 pounds. That is considered overweight, and you are considered to be at high risk for a whole bunch of disease. Now you may say, yeah, but I'm big and strong. Really? Guys, I've sent you videos of me benching 335. I've sent you videos of me squatting 410 for 3 on a low box. I've sent you videos of me deadlifting 585. I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I have some muscle on my body. I'm 5'10", 178. And I'm purposely on the higher end of my body weight. I'm normally about 168. But at 5'10", 178, which is like the heaviest I've been in the past 10 years, I'm still, 15, 16 pounds less than that 5'10", 194, which is the average person. And like I said, I carry a little bit more muscle than that person, and I'm a little bit stronger pound for pound than that person. So don't tell me that the reason why you're 5'10", 200 pounds is because of all the muscle on your body. There's a cognitive dissonance in how we talk about things to ourselves, to our children, to the world. We need to be very honest about what's happening and address it from where we are. I showed you guys a whole bunch of other stuff with supplements. I'm not going to go through supplements again, but I just want to remind you guys, The benefits of vitamin D3 are not just from the supplement, they're from the sun itself. I sent out a bunch of stuff regarding, what do you call it? Man, UVA and UVB light, my goodness. UVA and UVB light, two different lights, two different benefits. One of them, again, nitric oxide. Another one has to do with sulfate and cholesterol. Sent out a bunch of stuff about that. It's not just in the vitamin D itself. It's actually important to get outside, try to get some sunlight. I told you guys that's why I go into a tanning bed 3 times a week for about 2 minutes to make sure that I get the light on my skin. Talk to you guys about magnesium, fish oil, how important those things are. And depending on what you have going on nutritionally, how you eat, you might want to opt for certain supplements. So you guys can go back and look at that stuff. Video is already over 10 minutes, guys. But I also talked just very quickly about training in terms of rep schemes, in terms of volume, how to build strength and size. It does matter that you get enough repetitions in over enough sets at about that 80% of your 1 rep max. So 8 to 10 reps, 8 to 12 reps at about 80% of your 1 rep max. So I told you guys, look, I bench 335. That's my 1 rep max. So I would take 80% of that. So that's in the ballpark about 255. So getting sets of about, 5 to 8 reps in that 250 range is going to help me build more mass. How many times can I do that? Well, likely, you're only going to be good for about 3 sets of that. After a very good warm-up, which I talked about, how important long warm-ups are. The older you are, the stronger you are, the longer warm-up you need. And warm-up should also be about preventing injury, right? They're prehab. That's what's important, okay? I also talked a lot about hormones. I talked about testosterone and hormone replacement and how whacked out and stupid we're being about that. Talked also about a lot of stuff having to do with LDL and whatnot. So if you guys want to go back and listen, be my guest. But if you haven't been listening, you've been missing out on a lot. Guys, I encourage questions. This is all about you. It's not about me. I'm the one sitting in the middle of the day listening to stuff, learning in order to share with you. So if you have questions, ask. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the day.